Colleen, President Ramaphosa called for a national dialogue. We've had mixed experience on national dialogues before. Will this one be different?
Thanks, Albert. Yeah, that's a provocative question, and I'm going to apply it to enabling a healthy marriage. And so, why a national dialogue that keeps this marriage healthy? Let's answer that question. So I think there are a few reasons why another national dialogue could work. The first is that it is in the psyche at the moment. Even if people aren't saying national dialogue, they are saying we need to find each other. There is the sentiment. We're seeing it in the way that mostly political parties are engaging each other. We're seeing it in the upbeatness that you spoke about, Albert, the sense of hope. And look, hope's not going to get us out of some of the mess that we've got to get out of. But the sentiment and the psyche is the first condition. And that's there. And that doesn't come across often, because a condition for a national dialogue is that everyone wants it. The reason, in my view, why national dialogues haven't reached their full potential in South Africa is, I mean, it's complicated, but I think national dialogues in South Africa have partly been constrained by a few reasons. The one is that the purpose of a national dialogue has been conflated with many things. So it's about setting intention, designing a social compact, putting a plan together, implementing that plan, and there just hasn't been enough of structured institutions in place that see that through. Terry was also talking about this independent body that manages disputes between political parties. I think the same is true for implementing national dialogues. So that's one reason. The other big reason, which is different now, is that the national dialogues have been convened by the status quo, by the party that is in power. And there's not enough will to have trade-offs when you're in power. And now we're in a situation where there has to be trade-offs, there has to be concessions and rigorous debate, and that's a perfect opportunity for a national dialogue. I also just want to say that national dialogues aren't unique to South Africa. It's a global concept, and it has been a very successful vehicle, typically used when countries move out of autocratic or unstable governments into more democratic, inclusive governments. So the work that we've been doing as RIOS in the Horn of Africa is around national dialogues in Ethiopia, in Sudan, and Somalia, because those situations have been hugely unstable. And that's not the situation in South Africa. So we can't just apply this concept of a global national dialogue to South Africa. And so I just want to end by saying, you know, how is it different? What would we do differently, and why is this moment different? And I think there are 4 very important conditions to place at the center of a potential national dialogue. And then to start from that place. The first is, there is significant political realignment. And it's all happening in real time. We had 14 days to elect a president, but ministers are going to be announced. That's a political settlement and negotiation. So the negotiation platform is very fluid, and we need structure for that conversation. The second is we've got a very clear message from the electorate that the era of a one-party dominance is over, and that is a moment that we have to take advantage of, and not fracture, because if we fracture, the marriage fails. So there's incentive for leaders to work together, particularly when fixed policies, positions, plans are not yet in place. This is a really important reason also for basing a national dialogue, and that is that our current system, whether it's economic, political, democratic system, is under huge strain and stress and is not sustainable. We cannot keep going like we have been and get the results that we have for another 5 years. something's going to implode. And so that sort of agreement of unsustainability across the different centers of power is a very important condition and to talk about. And to Terry's point, the GNU has been formed under an impossibly short time frame. I mean, there's just isn't enough even framework, relationship, trust. I mean, think about the last 30 years of animosity between the ANC and the DA, or at the turn of democracy between the IFP and the ANC. And now they're in bed together. Like, how we have to work out a lot of detail, and a lot of that detail is about being in disagreement but finding each other. And you can't do that through the press. You've got to do it in a structured conversation. And then that leads you to what plans you're going to implement. So I think it's going to be tough, but we have to commit to the fight and know that we're going to need to be both in and normalize that we will need to be in relationship and in conflict. I'll end with a story that Ramaphosa actually told, but I was listening to an interview with Wolf Meyer driving into this forum tonight, and Wolf said that the reason why the negotiation at CODESA, one of the reasons why it worked, was because there was a relationship between Cyril and Rolf. And they were on opposite ends of the negotiation table, and we know this. But can we assume that the same posture between political parties coming into this next era? So I'll stop there.